America is tired of hand-wringing and indecisiveness and weakness in the Oval Office. We need to have strength and decision-making and authority back in the Oval Office, and that is why today I am proud to announce my candidacy for the Republican nomination for President of the United States of America.
Chris Christie is either too late and too damaged to become president of these United States, or his loud, bombastic, and in-your-face demeanor is just what America needs right now. Either way, you get the feeling New Jersey's governor won't back down on anything he says from here until he either wins the presidency or realizes there is no place like home for at least another 4 years. Our guest is co-author of Chris Christie, the inside story of his rise to power. Welcome Michael Symons to the Hard Line. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Ed.
We hear the governor talking big, but boy, I'll tell you what, Mike, we look at some of the numbers here. He's got a 30% approval rating in New Jersey, and there was a poll that came out just today that stated a majority of those surveyed said they want him to resign now that he's a candidate. Is he living a little bit of a lie here, telling people about how popular he still is in New Jersey?
Well, that popularity has certainly faded over the course of his second term. He was doing pretty well in his first term, got a big spike after the response to Superstorm Sandy. But since then, there's an exasperation with the pace of the Sandy recovery, and I guess a lot of disappointment about how much time he has spent out of state leading the way up to announcing for president, and everybody expects will probably be absent even more now.
I want to point that out, too. He has spent more time out of the state now than dealing with New Jersey government at this time, which has a lot of people worried that maybe he wouldn't be the right guy for America. But there's something else that comes in here. There's that thought that he is just a bully. We've heard that here in the last couple of days, and we hear that over and over again. You know the man. You wrote about him. Is he a bully, and would that bully be what's good for America?
I mean, there are times that he probably pushes the envelope and makes people cringe, and he would even admit to that. But I think that image that people have of him, he's not that way all the time. The line that he likes to use is that he's got more than one club in the bag. But when all you know of him are the YouTube videos and some of those more famous clips, that's going to be an impression people have. That's part of what he hopes to do. He'll probably camp out a lot in New Hampshire in the coming months and stake a lot of his campaign there. And I think he hopes that as people see him at town hall after town hall, they'll see that he's more than just that, although, yeah, certainly that's part of him.
So how then does he get some of that oomph going once again? Because 4 years ago, it looked like he said, no, I don't want to run just yet. Maybe that would have been the right time for him to run, because with Bridgegate, the chumminess with President Obama, the problems in New Jersey, it looks as if he might have just thought the wrong time, and basically he's too late.
Right, and there is a lot of that talk is that maybe last time, 4 years ago, people were asking him to jump into the race when there was a whole field of candidates and a certain dissatisfaction with those candidates. This time, you've got probably 15 other Republicans to choose from, and the field is considered a lot stronger, and people wonder if there's room for him in that. And I guess that the benefit to a field that size, if you're Chris Christie, and you do have these challenges to overcome about people questioning whether you're conservative enough and different things like that, is that it's not the sort of situation where he needs to get to 50% to win a primary, particularly in the early primaries. People are probably going to win some of those earlier states with roughly 20% of the vote or somewhere in the low 20s. That's part of why you see so many people getting in. Everybody thinks, well, I can get there.
So then, knowing full well that he probably could not be elected in his own state right now, and Bridgegate and all the things that we mentioned here, how then, in your opinion, does Chris Christie cut through all this static, prove to people that he is conservative enough and that he's the right guy when there's actually a lot of other people out there who get better polling numbers than him?
Right. You'll probably see him spend a whole lot more time in New Hampshire than Iowa. It's a bit more of a fit for him than some of the conservative evangelical vote that he would see in Iowa and South Carolina. I don't think he'll ignore those states, but primarily he's going to stake a lot of his time and money and effort in New Hampshire and hope that somebody who is from the Northeast, bit of a streak of independence, that'll fit with him there. You can even see in his announcement speech and some of the things that he's said since then that he's not intending to sort of move to people's right in a way to try to get their vote. He talked in his announcement speech about how compromise isn't a dirty word. He blame both Democrats and Republicans for the current state of Washington. So I think his plan will be to try to get people to participate who might not otherwise, and that would be enough to get his head above water in a big field.
It unfortunately at this point is not a very rosy picture for the governor, especially when you consider that people are fact-checking a lot of what he has said, and they're finding that maybe Chris Christie is just like all the other politicians. They just happen to stretch the truth every now and then. I want to remind everybody, the book once again is called Chris Christie, the inside story of his rise to power, and a lot of people will be reading it now to find out more about him. Michael Symons is the co-author. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. A very happy 4th of July to you and your family.
Thanks for your time. Happy 4th.
Our pleasure. Take care. Next up, the American double agent who understands why Russian spies are often referred to as bumbling. It's coming up right here on the fastest 60 Minutes in News.